Yo, check it out, I gotta speak the truth about the hardest working small channel in the crypto booth. He's the crypto.
Wow, the number of videos being released on cryptocurrency is staggering, and it's hard to make it's difficult to make sense out of any of it, really, because there is positive, there is negative, and if you wanted to listen to every single video that's out there, you'd get a headache. You don't actually know what's happening in crypto because nobody actually really knows. The only thing for sure that I can tell you is all markets tend to go up. Despite the fact that there are ups and downs and lows and highs, all markets tend to go up in the end. But you've got Airdrop Dude, Wendio, wow, Cardano upcoming integration with XRP and more, that Tech Hustler. You've got Jerome Da Vinci talking about buying Bitcoin, buy a Bitcoin dollar for $1 now and get rich. Traders Reality, very good channel. He does some really good analysis, but I find him to be pretty bearish most of the time, and he's got his own reasons for that. But he doesn't give you a lot of hopium, which is probably a good thing because you don't want hopium. It's better to be disappointed or actually it's better to be negative and then happily surprised than disappointed after having, a lot of hopium. Becker is talking about 8 crypto coins that will 15x. Wendio with another bombshell, BlackRock bombshell, choosing over Bitcoin, cash over Bitcoin over cash rather. Son of a Tech is talking about mining equipment. So this guy is on point. He doesn't bring hopium or dopium. He's on the mining side of things. The Moon, Carl the Moon, man, he's he's a character. I'm not sure that he's a very reliable source of information, but the guy's made millions apparently, so I guess that qualifies him to be in the circle of trust. On this channel, I bring you some information, I bring you some news, I bring some additional things like mining apps and ways to make additional cash in crypto. So make sure to smash the likes on this video. And if you're interested, become a member of the channel. Also remember to pick up the Send wallet, but that's at the end. But what we do on this channel every single day is look at the crypto market. So let's do that now. We are at $2.770 billion, $111 billion in trading volumes. That's went up. It's probably because of the sales that are happening. Bitcoin at $82,000, Ethereum at $1,800, BNB still above 600, Solana 126, Cardano at 66 cents, Toncoin back to $4, baby, Litecoin at $83, Polkadot at 4, and Pi slipped back down to 31st place. It was on 30th yesterday. It's been surpassed by Binance's bridged USDT. Bitcoin is forming a green candle on the daily, but still well below the 200 MA and of course below the 10 MA that has broken below the 200 MA. We also have the 50 and then 100 MAs. The 50 is kind of on the collision course with 200 MA, and if the 50 MA breaks below the 200 MA, then we're in a world of trouble. So let's hope that's not going to happen. Traders Reality maintains that things are not looking great, and let's hope that it's not as bearish as he seems to think it may be. Things may be. So, but right now is probably not the best time to trade unless you're shorting Bitcoin, although even now, even shorting may be cautionary. But in the grand scheme of things, what's happening? 4 key Bitcoin metrics suggest 80K Bitcoin price is a discount, basically saying that right now is a very good time to buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin price dropped from 87 to 81,000 between March 28th and March 31st. Despite struggling to hold above 82,000 on March 31st, 4 key indicators point to strong investor confidence and potential signs of Bitcoin decoupling from traditional markets in the near future. Despite the fact that Bitcoin narrative of being digital gold and an uncorrelated asset are being questioned, several Bitcoin metrics continue to show strength, indicating that long-term investors remain unfazed by the temporary correlation as central banks pivot to expansionist measures to prevent an economic crisis. Bitcoin's mining hash rate, which measures the computing power behind the network's block validation mechanism, reached an all-time high. So despite, or maybe because of the low prices on Bitcoin, the mining hash rate has increased. quite possibly due to the fact that the difficulty has dropped, and so there's a lot more computing power being thrown at the network. 7-day hash rate reached a peak of 856.2 million terahash rates per second on March 28th, up from 798 in February. Hence, there are no signs of panic selling from miners, as shown by the flow of known entities to exchanges. In the past, Bitcoin price downturns were associated with periods of FUD regarding the death spiral, where miners were forced to sell when becoming unprofitable. Additionally, the 7-day average of net transfers from miners to exchanges on March 30th stood at 125 Bitcoin according to Glassnode data, much lower than the Bitcoin mined, which was 450 per day. Bitcoin miner Mara Holdings filed a prospectus on March 28 to sell up to $2 billion in stocks to expand its Bitcoin reserves and for general corporate purposes. This move follows that of GameStop, which filed a $1.3 billion convertible debt offering plan on March 28, while updating its reserve investment strategy to include potential Bitcoin and stablecoin acquisitions. So companies like the Mara Holdings are continuing to expand their mining operations, and GameStop is planning on adding Bitcoin to their reserves. Cryptocurrency exchanges reserves dropped to their lowest levels in over 6 years on March 30th, reaching 2.64 million Bitcoin, according to Glassnode data. This means that people are withdrawing their Bitcoins and keeping them, storing them in in their cryptocurrencies. Usually when the number of Bitcoin on exchanges increases, that means that people are getting ready to sell their Bitcoin, to offload their Bitcoin onto the market. However, when the situation is reversed and Bitcoin begins to disappear from the exchanges, that means that investors are moving their Bitcoin off the exchanges in order to store it in crypto wallets for the purpose of holding, obviously not trading and not selling. But so that also means that there aren't any buyers. There are no people buying, which means Bitcoin is not moving. What happens to Bitcoin when there are no sellers and no buyers? Do we just flatline and continue flatlining? I mean, in order for people to begin buying more Bitcoin, there has to be more Bitcoin in circulation. So miners need to step up their game. VC roundup, 8-figure funding deals suggest crypto bull market far from over. Venture capital funding continued to pour into the blockchain and cryptocurrency industry in March, even as market commentators sensationalized the end of the bull market amid Bitcoin's 30% retracement. I've always maintained that the bull market is not over yet, because if it were, then this would be the shortest bull run in the history of Bitcoin, I think. So that would be it would be odd. I mean, if it were the end of the bull market, that would be a very odd thing to see, especially considering the fact that we are at a market cap that is much higher than we've seen so far over the past 4 bull runs or 3 bull runs. So this would be a very odd one indeed. VC flows are considered a vital sign for the blockchain industry, with higher deal activity indicative of strong investor appetite and growing innovation in the space. As Cointelegraph reported, blockchain startups raised a combined $1.1 billion in February alone, with projects spanning decentralized finance, decentralized physical infrastructure, networks, and payments attracting the lion's share of capital inflows. Early signs suggest that March was arguably a stronger month for crypto VC deals, as evident by the growing size of the investment rounds and the number of investors participating. So there's a lot more money flowing into the blockchain industry. And despite the relatively lackluster movement in the market, the industry is not dead, and this would suggest that we're still to see a lot more money to be put into the market over the upcoming months. 8 deals are featured in this month's VC roundup, and 7 of them were valued in the 8-figure range. A cross protocol raised $41 million via token sale. Ribbit Capital leads $23.6 million cross-mint raise. Chronicle closed its seed round with $12 million raised. DeFi yielding stablecoin Level debuts with $2.6 million in funding in March. Blockchain developer Peregrine Exploration debuted the Level USD stablecoin with $2.6 million in backing from Dragonfly Capital, Polychain, Flowdesk, and others. Holiday raises 20 million for agentic workflow protocol. AI-driven validation cloud closes 15 million Series A. Skytail Digital debuts with 20 million Polkadot ecosystem fund, which is about time because Polkadot needs it. So hopefully this money inflow will push Polkadot out of the slump that it's been seeing for the past 4 years or something, and we're going to see Polkadot back up at its all-time high numbers of $20-something per Polkadot. My goodness. So there is a lot more money flowing into the cryptocurrency space, but it seems to be put into development. And with development comes more advertisement, more usability, more accessibility that is going to be a lot more user-friendly. And that also means that onboarding will become a lot easier for most people, and quite possibly the diversity of applications being offered in these ecosystems will attract a lot more investors and will attract a lot more eyeballs from retail investors specifically. To top it all off, you've got US senators getting now involved. And, when politicians are getting involved in cryptocurrencies or in any kind of investments, something is up. They tend to know a little bit more than we know, as we have seen with Nancy Pelosi. Not always a good thing, obviously, but Senator Cormick invests up to $600,000 in Bitcoin ETFs from the Digital Asset Subcommittee. You know that these people have information that not all of us have access to. And if these guys are investing some of their own money, that suggests that things are better than they appear to be. And here's a standpoint from BlackRock CEO. Bitcoin could take the dollar's role as world reserve currency. So Larry Fink warns that if Bitcoin overtakes the dollar as a hedge, it could erode US dollars global reserve currency status. Despite the risk, Fink champions crypto's potential, especially through tokenization and digital narrative TradFi ecosystems. He urges balance, citing decentralized finance's benefits, but warns that it could destabilize America's economic edge if unchecked. It's funny that they're saying that he has been long been bullish on Bitcoin. No, it hasn't. It's been barely a year, I think. Before that, he was very, very bearish on Bitcoin, not bullish. So that's interesting how they twist reality. Media tends to do that. They twist reality to make it appear like the history never happened. Larry Fink was very much opposed to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies for a very long time. He called it a scam for a very long time, and just recently he realized that he could make millions of dollars by introducing ETFs, and that's probably because he, got some insights from the SEC with probably the word of a possibility of him being able to launch the ETFs, which BlackRock is now the leading Bitcoin ETF issuer in the USA. So they're racking in big time. And so this is, of course, now why Larry Fink is in favor of cryptocurrencies, not because he might truly believe it, although he may, but because he's making tons of money on it. And crypto funds gained 226 million. Altcoins see first inflows in 5 weeks. US leads regional inflows with 204 million, followed by Switzerland and Germany. So there's more money flowing in. It all takes time. It's a delayed effect, obviously. We're not going to see a massive pump as soon as this happens. But rest assured, we're going to see, I think, like I said, I stick to my predictions. I think we're going to see a massive pump upcoming, and then we're going to see another retracement, like I said, and then we're going to see a face melting pump up to quite possibly $250,000. This is what I think, but I definitely think that there will be another pump and another dump, and then a final pump, whatever the price may be. This is, of course, just the prediction, just the forecast. It may or may not come true. Don't take it as word, right? As the Bible. But I do think that we're going to see a pump and another retracement before August. Depending on the timing, the time scale. If this starts to take place around September, August, then we're going to have very little time to see a massive pump. I don't think we're going to go past October into the end of the year. 2026 is going to be the beginning of the bear market, I believe, because that's going to be finishing up the 4-year cycle, and we're going to be entering the new cycle of the 4 years before the next Bitcoin halving. So that's what I see happening. But you know, nobody really knows what's going to happen. But the things that I did read on this channel, that on this video, are going to happen. So make sure to smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content that I provide for you. Also, do remember to pick up a Descent wallet. You can pick one up with a $30 discount. They're great wallets. If you haven't seen my review videos, then check those out. I provide a full walkthrough and setup for the wallet. You can get 2 of them, a bundle, for a discount of $99. So that's a bit of a better deal than buying a single one. So if you need some crypto wallets, then pick up the Descent wallet. Don't forget to share the video, and I hope to see you tomorrow on Wednesday. Have a fantastic Tuesday. Peace.